Welcome, beautiful souls. I'm Felicity from Enchanted by Soul. For those who do not know me, this is going to be a quick collective energy update. I felt really guided to get on here. So like I said, for those who do not know me, I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I'm also an intuitive mentor, which means that I help others open and activate and strengthen and discover their own unique intuitive abilities. I work with people from all different stages in their development, from all different walks of life. So if you are interested in going through that process with me, I do a 12-week program. Okay, for that you can just, or if you want to book a personal reading with me, you can check the description box below. I also offer a business energetics session, okay, for those beautiful spiritual entrepreneurs who want to tap into the energetics of their business. This is where I do not use any cards. This is a beautiful conversation between you, me, and spirit, so my guides, your guides, to give you the best guidance currently in your business and any questions that you have that come up. This is probably one of my most popular sessions that people book with me, okay? One-off sessions. Okay, let's get started into this. So at the moment, there is this huge energy of change and transformation. This energy that is calling us to release, to let go, to remove. And what do I mean by that? I mean anything and everything that is toxic in your life, that is holding you back, that has you thinking that you're not good enough, that you don't have it in you to create what it is that you want, to even create transformation and change in your life. So this can come down to your personal habits. This can come down to people in your life, connections. This can come down to things like self-sabotage, which we all have. Guys, I even still sometimes have some self-sabotage come up, okay, but we need to push through that. So this is a time of transformation and change. This is a time for you to understand that it is in you. You have that inner power to have breakthroughs. You have that inner power to discover not only what it is that you are wanting to transform, but actually doing it, okay? Creating that change for yourself. So this is the current energy that is flowing through. As you guys know, we're in Pisces season, but we are leading towards Aries season. And that is going to be the first zodiac sign of the astrological year. So the new year in the astrological year, which is really a beautiful time to go, to create action, to do all of that. And you know, some of you guys have been really hearing me talk about that, so I won't go fully into it, okay? But so Pisces season is asking you to let go. It's asking you to connect to your emotions. It's asking you to look at the illusions in your life, okay? We all experience them, all right? This can be illusions in so many different areas, right? So have a look at that, because it's like the shadow side of Pisces, okay? The shadow side of Pisces can be a little toxic. I'm not gonna lie, it can be a little toxic. But the empowering side of it is the intuitive, the psychic, the knowing what you want, the inner knowing. And you access that inner knowing and you move forward and you transform and you do all of that, okay? So it's just such beautiful energy that's coming through. So I'm just going to grab a couple of cards. This is a new deck. I'm going to tag this below. It's just so beautiful. I was so excited to use this. And I was just playing around with it before and I was like, oh my God, this is like such incredible messages and artwork, and it's really bringing out like my intuition, and I love decks that do that. So let's just see, we'll get a couple of cards. I'm not going to be on here for too long. Okay, I'll be back Monday, Australia time. Might go live, or I might just do a pre-recorder, but for the weekly energy forecast. If you want to still have a look at the weekly energy forecast for this week, that is on my page. I also have all the element readings done too, okay? So you can check your sun, moon, rising. If you prefer to watch videos on YouTube, you can check out my YouTube channel, Enchanted by Soul. The link is in my bio. If you want to buy me a coffee for an energy exchange, feel free to do so, but by all means, you do not have to. You can share, okay, like, subscribe from my YouTube, but you can share this on your Instagram stories and all of that too. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, we have perception. Also, the first thing that I'm hearing is some of you are sticking your head in the ground, okay? And this can be the refusing to see. It's giving me that like Two of Swords energy in tarot. So it's giving that like refusing to see the illusion, refusing to see the parts of you that are creating resistance, that are creating this energy of like resisting change, resisting transformation, because sometimes we want it, right? Sometimes we're like, I'm ready for it, I can't wait for it, I love it. And other times we're like, that's scary because I know what I need to let go of, or holy shit, I've got to step into this like next version. And we think that we need to take one huge leap, one huge step. For some of us, we feel ready to do that, so that's great. For others, and sometimes we can feel like that's too much. So just take a small step, right? Small steps lead to success. Small steps lead to expansion, change, transformation. So start with some small steps, okay? But some of you do have your head stuck in the sand. It's a bit of a message that's coming through. Spirit can be a little bit blunt sometimes, and they're like, it's time to close this shit out, okay? Get your head out of the fucking sand and look at the bigger picture, see your inner power, witness the fact that you have it within you to create this change. And also perception is like needing to have a look at different perspectives, okay? Different perspectives of not just with like having a look at different perspectives in your own life and what you need to have a look at, but also looking at other people's different perceptions. Remembering that every single human is looking through this world and going through this world, this human experience, through their lens, okay? So remembering too, we cannot force change on others. We can't, and nor should we, right? We wouldn't like someone trying to do that to us. So it's best to meet people with where they're at, know that we don't own another person's journey, including our children, okay? As a mother of two, I see that, it's like including our children. That's a whole other conversation, but it does work into that as well. So having a look at different perspectives, understanding that every single human has a different perspective about you can look at spirituality, right? There's so many different perceptions and belief systems within that. And that's okay. And then there's people who look at spirituality and go, that's just not for me, and I don't even believe in any of that stuff. That's okay. That doesn't mean you're better than them, I'm better than them, right? Not at all. And it doesn't mean that I have a more fulfilling life than someone who doesn't do this stuff or believe in it. They can have just a fulfilling life as much, okay? So let's keep going. See if that message, okay, it's gone, it's disappeared. It's had a message come through. All right. Opportunity. Okay, this is like woodpecker, right? There is an opportunity like knocking on your door, and the opportunity is for change and transformation. And this is the theme. As I was connecting to spirit, calling in my guides before starting this live, they're like, change and transformation. It is upon us. It is upon the collective. I mean, we've been doing it for a long ass time, and a lot of us have been doing it individually for a long time, but it's like, it's upon us, and it's time to work with it. Okay, it's a beautiful message. It's time to work with it. So also though, with the woodpecker, think about a woodpecker that just fucking does not stop, right? Does not stop. It is persistent. It is going to continue knocking on that piece of wood. It is persistent. So for some of you, you might be really persistent trying to knock on the same door that is closed. And the message is like, tap into your inner knowing. And if you really truly feel that door's for you, but maybe it's not just yet, just take a little step back, okay? And then the door will open when the time is right. But it doesn't mean you don't do anything. You can still be persistent, but maybe shifting your focus on a different way that you can go about it. Even shifting your focus to something else, and then just allowing that door to open. For others, it's like you're knocking on a door that's not yours. You're being really persistent on opportunity that isn't yours. So this is an opportunity to blossom. This is an opportunity to turn from what's not for you, to close doors that aren't for you, so you can blossom. Okay. And then for others, this is like, just be persistent, maybe shift your focus, shift your perception, and that will allow that door to just open for you. Okay. That's the message that's coming through too. don't walk blindly through life. Okay, and what I mean by that is we can walk into the unknown with not knowing what the hell is going to happen or what's going on. And so we go into a surrender, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? We flow, we surrender, we listen to our inner knowing, but don't just walk blindly through life and make decisions and choices without tuning in, without tapping into your inner knowing, to your guide. You're just gonna like bang into things and walk into some trouble, right? Metaphorically speaking, obviously. Okay, one more, please. Okay, I'm just going to take the top one, okay? We have prayer answered. What have I done here? Anyway, I think there we go. All right, we have prayer answered. I love this because it's the buffalo, right? The buffalo is a very sacred animal. This is a time of connecting to the divine. This is a time of connecting to your spirit team, asking for help, but knowing too that as we pray or we speak to spirit, we go into ceremony, we do our practices, our rituals, however you choose to do it, right? There's no right or wrong. It's whatever feels good for you. As we do that, spirit listens. The universe listens, and then they start to organize things to help things shift and move, but it is a collaboration. We can't just expect to say a prayer and that it lands in like on our doorstep the next day. Sometimes it can feel that way because the energy that we were meant to be in was surrender and was flow, so it could just come in. Okay, but however you listened to that and you knew you had to just go into flow, and that's why that came in really quickly. Other times it's like, you need to take action and there's things that you need to do, and so it's just important to have a look at what that is so that you can have that beautiful co-collaboration with spirit. Know too though that if you find yourself, like literally I'm seeing it, like someone on their knees and like in front of an altar, like with a candle, right, like lighting a candle. By the way, if that's something you like to do, that's a message for you to go ahead and do that. But for others, it's just like a metaphorical kind of way of looking at it, of just kind of like on your knees, surrendering, praying, trusting, and asking for the guidance of your next step and what it is that's going to help you navigate this. Even asking for like the right people to come into your life so that you can receive the help that is needed and required to help you move forward. Okay, it's not about being rescued. We have that power, like we have it within us. Remember I was talking about it at the very beginning, but that's just something that's coming through there. Right, I'm gonna grab one more, guys, and then I'm gonna close this out. I don't know if it's gone a bit dark on the screen for you guys, but if it has, I think it's because my phone is a little bit low in battery. Okay. What do we need to know right now to close this out for the collective? You are what you think. This is not about toxic positivity. This is not about we can't experience all different emotions and all different ways of thinking. But this does mean that when we continuously tell ourselves something, right? Whether it's in a negative form or a more positive. If we continue that for a really long time, we start to believe it. And then when we start to believe it, then that means that we take action and make decisions from those beliefs, from that space. And whether that can go into two different directions, right? That can take you down a direction that you start to notice on the outside. So your outer reality is not going the way that you want it to. Things might feel like they're falling apart, okay? You keep hitting blocks and that kind of stuff too. And then the other path is doors opening. And it doesn't mean that that path is like going to be an easy ride and no obstacles. Like, that path even has obstacles, right? But it is actually a little bit of an easier ride, an easier walk. So remembering that if you are telling yourself over and over and over again really negative things, keep believing that the fears that are in your mind are truth without actually having a look at a different perspective of it, and having a look at really what is ego and what is intuition. And when we go in to talk to our intuition and we expect to get the answer right away, and we're like, I need it now, that's when our ego can get in the way a little bit, okay? Versus just going in and trusting that the information will come in. Sometimes it's instantly, sometimes it just takes a little bit, okay? But be mindful how you're speaking to yourself, be mindful what you're telling yourself, be mindful of the programming that you have too, okay, on what people told you who you had to be, who you have to be, whether it's family, friends, society, whatever it is. You get to be who you want to be. You get to do what you want to do. You get to explore what sets your soul on fire, where you're, you know, having that curiosity, right? You get to explore that. And that is what you get to explore. And it's your path. So you can choose this way or you can choose this way. And if you find yourself choosing this way, or more of that very like negative self-talk, don't shame yourself when you notice it. But when you do notice it, like self-awareness is key, by the way. That's like the first step. So when you do notice it, just do some rituals or certain things that can really help clear it. You know, seeing a mindset coach, but even seeing like a therapist, working with healers, whatever feels right for you. Just being making sure you do your research, of course, on what modality you go down or who you decide to work with. But don't shame yourself if you do go in that direction. But self-awareness is key. That's the first step. I never realized how badly I spoke to myself for years until I was like 32 or 30. Actually, I think I was like 33. And I was seeing for the first time ever, I actually received therapy. And the psychologist pointed it out to me. And I was quite offended at first. I was like, I don't talk negative to myself. Like, whatever, you know what you're talking about. And then, of course, she planted the seed of like the, you know, hey, I'm just reflecting this to you and bringing you this information. And then I started to notice how poorly I spoke to myself. And I was like, holy shit, that is so bad. And one thing you can do is you can look at that beautiful inner child that's within you, that beautiful 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 10-year-old, 15-year-old, doesn't matter what age, right? And just be like, when you're talking to yourself so badly, that's who you're talking to, right? That's who you're talking to. Of course, you're talking to yourself as well, but you know what I mean. And be really mindful, because that will create a reality you don't want, because we make decisions and choices from that space, from those belief systems, from that programming. But again, transformation and change is upon us. So are you speaking to yourself like that? How are you speaking? What are you speaking? But remembering too, this is not toxic positivity. We can speak so wonderfully of ourselves, and then we can hit a little bit of an obstacle, or we make a mistake, or we feel like we've failed at something, and then we can go into self-loathing. But we pick ourselves out of it. We catch it quickly and we move ourselves out of it. So it's not about thinking positive all the time. We're allowed to feel disappointment, angry, regret. All those uncomfortable emotions are allowed to be experienced, because we can transmute them and we can bring them to the light, and then we can grow and evolve even further, and we learn, and therefore it brings us to our next level, okay, when we go through that learning and that healing and that shadow work and all of that. So that is just a little energy collective update, guys. Please let me know in the comments if this resonates. I would love to hear. Hi, how you going, beautiful? I'm just finishing this up, but I'm going to post it, okay? Really beautiful messages have come through. So again, guys, if you're watching the replay, please let me know if this resonates. Feel free to share it on your stories. Feel free to share it to someone that you think needs to hear it. If you're on my YouTube channel, feel free to subscribe, okay, to like this as well, if it resonates with you, okay? I send you guys so much love. Enjoy the rest of your week, and if you are in Australia, enjoy your weekend that starts tomorrow. But I send you guys so much love, and I will talk to you soon.